I don't think it's much of a secret at this point that YouTube has decided to remove dislikes from their platform, or rather make the dislike count invisible to the public audience. The dislike button is still there. You can still click on dislike, and content creators can still view how many dislikes their video got versus likes and take a look at that ratio, but the general audience won't know that. Or that is, without this Chrome extension right here, return YouTube dislike. If you install that, you can actually see dislikes again. So already YouTube's intention to solve this problem by nuking the entire rating system of this content creation platform has been completely nullified. But it's only recently that I got to sit down and take a look at YouTube's reasoning behind this, their justification behind this, and I don't buy it. I don't buy into what feels like BS or what feels like justifications that are extremely weak. So first, let's take a look at this blog post from the official YouTube page from November 10th, titled "An Update to Dislikes on YouTube." It reads, "The dislike count will be private across YouTube, but the dislike button will remain. Earlier this year, we experimented with the dislike button to see whether or not changes could help better protect our creators from harassment and reduce dislike attacks. Our experiment data showed a reduction in dislike attacking behavior. We also heard directly from smaller creators and those just getting started that they're unfairly targeted by this behavior, and our experiment confirmed that this does occur at a higher proportion on smaller channels. We're making the dislike count private across YouTube, but the dislike button is not going away." Don't you just love it when a corporation's like, "Trust us, we did an experiment, we looked at the data, we're not going to show you how we did the experiment or how we analyzed that data and allow you to gauge whether this experiment we did appropriately, but trust us, we did the research and this is what the research showed." I don't know how this experiment was conducted. I don't know who got contacted about this. I don't know what the parameters of the experiment were. They don't detail any of that, which already makes all of this extremely suspect. Now, with that out of the way, let's actually take a look at the following video update to YouTube dislike count, and through the Chrome extension, you can see right here just how mass disliked this video got. 27,000 likes versus a whopping almost 510,000 dislikes. It's funny how the blog post mentions that the removal of dislikes makes it less likely that a video will get disliked attacked, but here we are looking at this video that has been dislike attacked, but not because people are trolling, but because people overwhelmingly disagree with this move from YouTube. It has made the YouTube browsing experience a lot worse, and as someone who frequently uses YouTube, I can attest to this. While this is a good solution for PC users and people who use Chrome and the extension on mobile, I don't think currently there's a solution to view dislikes, and so I'm unable to gauge whether a video is accurately informative or what the sentiments are surrounding certain opinions with that at-a-glance information that we used to have that is now completely disabled. Here we have a video that tries to justify all of this and that tries to empathize with people's skepticism surrounding this decision and why they made this decision, and I watched the video and I just don't buy any of it, and a lot of the justifications that they give again feel extremely weak. So I'd like to check this out and comment along the way. Here we go.
Hey folks, you may have seen a while back that YouTube announced it was experimenting with making dislike counts private to only the creator of the video. Now, if you're like me, you were surprised by that. I mean, I've always thought seeing the number of dislikes on a video helps us know as viewers if it's a good video or not, if it's a helpful tutorial or not, or if what a creator is saying in their video is generally agreed with or not. But unfortunately, research teams at YouTube have found there's this whole other use for disliking a video that I had never experienced as a creator, and you may not have either. Apparently, groups of viewers are targeting a video's dislike button to drive up the count, turning it into something like a game with a visible scoreboard. And it's usually just because they don't like the creator or what they stand for. That's a big problem when half of YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice.
Okay, half of YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice, he says, while promoting a feature that literally silences anyone who dislikes a video. Do you see the irony there? The thing about that likes to dislikes ratio is that it does say a lot about a video. And I'm not trying to say that there aren't situations where a video does get unjustifiably mass disliked by a group who kind of coordinated this and whatnot. I'm not saying that's not an issue, but the solution to this is to nuke the entire rating system of this platform. That seems a bit excessive. Instead of them going out of their way to like find specific solutions to address this without nuking the entire rating system, they kind of took the easy way out and decided to just cripple the way people used to kind of at a glance be able to gauge certain aspects of a video, whether it's informative or not. Like when you see that dislikes ratio be kind of pretty high, at the very least, it sends enough red flags where you might do some research about this video, either by going to the comment section to see if it was more about disagreements and opinions or just the inaccuracy of the video or the quality of the video. That likes to dislikes ratio was kind of an at-a-glance way to immediately get some information that's no longer available. And that's because the public's dislikes literally have been silenced without this Chrome extension. But anyway, let's continue.
So earlier in 2021, YouTube experimented with making the public dislike count private to see if it would help reduce these coordinated dislike attacks across the platform. And after analysis, they did see a reduction.
Where's the data? Show us the analysis. How was the experiment conducted? You can't just tell us that we did an experiment and then expect anyone to just believe you. I mean, corporations are deeply mistrusted as it is, but anyone who just straight up says, I did an experiment and I promise you we saw this data, without the proper evidence to back that up, that's a person who you should never trust. You shouldn't just ever take anyone's word for something, and you certainly shouldn't take a corporation's word for something. One of the suspicions is that they are more trying to alleviate corporations from being humiliated by the mass dislikes that they receive when they make a piss-poor decision. We have seen, gaming companies in particular, when they release a trailer for something like Ubisoft NFTs, or when Nintendo released that video about how Switch Online's expansion would work with N64 games and the pricing model for that, how mass disliked those were. It feels like more like they're trying to shield those companies so that they can try to mitigate the negative PR instead of actually protecting creators, as you'll see this guy trying to justify as later on. But moving on.
So the update from YouTube is that the dislike button is staying, but the dislike counts will now be private. You can still dislike videos, and that action will be used to tune your own recommendations, but you won't be able to see the dislike count. Only the creator can find it on the back end if they want. Now, a few common questions we saw from the initial experiment. First, without a public dislike count, how can viewers tell if a video is worth watching? Again, I kind of had this question too, but it turns out that while viewers might use the dislike count to give them a sense of a video's worth, when the teams looked at the data across millions of viewers and videos in the experiment, they didn't see a noticeable difference in viewership, regardless of whether they could see the dislike count or not. In other words, it didn't really matter if a video had a lot of dislikes or not, they still watched.
Okay, so this guy straight up says that people use likes and dislikes ratio to gauge a video's worth. And towards the beginning of the video, he talked about how the removal of the dislikes or the privatization of the dislikes is making people wonder, how are we going to gauge if it's a good video or not, if it's a helpful tutorial or not, or if what a creator is saying in their video is generally agreed with or not. But then he brushes past it and says, well, people watch the video anyway, so that's what we care about it. It's almost like they're placing more value in the viewership of a video rather than people's ability to gauge the value of that video, be it entertainment value, information value, you name it. He basically says, well, people watch the video anyway, so who cares, without addressing the issue that the ability for people to determine a video's worth is now significantly diminished because they cannot see the ratio to which people liked a video versus disliked it. He basically goes, we know you have questions about this aspect, and then never addresses that issue or answers the question regarding gauging videos' worth. I've had plenty of experiences myself where likes and dislikes bar would inform greatly whether a video was worth watching. I could immediately tell something was clickbait just based on the likes to dislikes ratio and based on the first frame of a video, and immediately I knew to back out. But without that feature, I don't know. I'm forced to watch more of a video that may not be worth watching. I'm forced to waste more of my time to gauge whether this video is clickbait or uninformative and whatnot. And even if I do watch a video all the way through, one that's been mass disliked, and I give it a shot, at the very least, that glanceable information gave me red flags to at least look into it, whether it's a result of misinformation and clickbait or video quality or just general disagreements and division when it comes to opinions. It offered that information that made me at least go, okay, I'll watch this video, but I'll do a bit more research to see what about it made it so divisive, and then form my own opinions from there, whether I agree with this video or not, or whether I think it's informative enough or not, or whether I should take this information to heart or not. Like, there's a lot more that goes behind the scenes beyond just whether I watch the video or not. It's about the thought process that goes into a video based on that glanceable information. And the ratio of likes versus dislikes, that percentage, offers valuable information. Just how divisive is this video? Is it overwhelmingly negative? Is it 50-50? Is it 75-25? And through the ratio, you could also gauge how positively a video was received. Like, if a video has an over 99% likes ratio, then you know that this video really struck emotionally with people, or people found this video to be really entertaining, or people found the information in this video to be useful, and that can therefore reinforce further positive sentiment. YouTube isn't keeping in mind that they're removing that aspect too, the vicious cycle of positivity, as a result of people being able to see that the ratio is extremely positive. That aspect has been compromised. The video then addresses the creator side of things, and this explanation also makes no sense.
Next common question. If creators can still see the dislike count on the back end, how's that any different? They can see it if they look for it inside Studio Analytics under the Engagement tab.
So basically the justification he's trying to make is that, well, you have to go look for it, so it makes it less likely that it's something that creators will engage with, because you really have to go look for it. But you don't. All you have to do is click on Manage Videos, and the page you'll see looks something like this. And on the right here, you can see across the board all of your likes and dislikes ratios with just a glance. So this whole idea of, well, we're trying to alleviate stress from creators who might take stock in the likes to dislikes ratio, it doesn't do anything for us, because people can still dislike videos, and we can still very easily see the likes to dislikes ratio. On our end, it really is no different. It's more on the user's end, where they don't have access to this information for them to be informed about, the quality of a video, the merits of a video, the entertainment factor of a video, the clickbaitiness of a video, you name it. The video continues.
But overall, it's much less likely to cause stress and embarrassment if the count isn't visible to the public.
I don't buy that at all. Ever since YouTube dislikes were made private, I have not noticed a difference in the likes to dislikes ratio that I usually tend to get. And same goes for other videos. Like this video right here got super mass disliked, despite the fact that the dislikes were hidden. It didn't cause people to be less likely to click that dislike button. And on the creator's end, they'll be able to see that. And so again, on the creator side of things, it's literally no different. And as far as harassment goes, guess what? You've already failed in your mission, because there is this extension on Google Chrome, Return YouTube Dislike, that makes that information visible again. And the people coordinating to engage in mass disliking a video, they're likely enthusiasts, and they probably know about this extension. They're likely to use this extension to look at the dislikes and spread that information around to try to embarrass the creator they don't like. They've just made it an extra step for harassers to engage in the way that they do, but they haven't actually resolved anything. Moving on.
And one more common question. Is this because YouTube Rewind got lots of dislikes? No. Although there are some teams internally who have learned the hard way what it feels like to get lots of dislikes. Now, this again is about protecting all creators and making sure they have a chance to succeed and feel safe in doing so. All right, so that's the update. I hope it doesn't cause too much frustration. Honestly, I think
about that, too much frustration.
Keep in mind, other platforms don't even have a dislike button.
Okay, that.
Consider that. Thank you, and I hope you're well.
That I have to address. Other platforms don't have a dislike button. Well, the thing is that this guy is trying to act like YouTube is a social media platform like Facebook, where you can like comments but not necessarily dislike them. On Twitter, you can hit that heart button, but you can't hit like a thumbs down or a heartbreak button or whatever. You can't dislike stuff on social media, but those are platforms that are centered around people sharing their thoughts and sentiments and kind of communicating and having discussions. And, you know, at times there are content that are, you know, uploaded to these platforms, but social media is different from YouTube because these videos are far more than just tweets or posts. They're almost like mini movies, essentially. And in the case of, you know, some content creators, they might upload full-on movies or, you know, feature-length content, whether it's streams or Let's Plays and whatnot. That's content. Kind of like how when you go to Netflix, you see content, and Netflix has a rating system. If you go to Amazon Prime, that has a SARS rating system where people can leave feedback about whether they think this was good content or not, and that will inform the audience whether this is a video or a movie worth engaging with. And YouTube is a similar platform. It's more akin to that, except it's, you know, quote unquote less professional in the sense that anyone can turn on a camera and upload content without this committee telling you whether this content, you know, belongs on this platform based on how high quality it is. Like Netflix has certain standards. With YouTube, anyone can upload a video. It's definitely more community driven, and that's what makes YouTube such a special place for content, but it is still content, like how movies are content featured on streaming platforms and the like. And in those kinds of platforms, you do need a rating system so people can get some kind of at-a-glance information on what the general sentiments are about a specific piece of content or video or short or feature-length content, whatever it might be. YouTube has essentially nuked its rating system where it's all about just people seeing likes, which tells you nothing about the ratio of people that liked versus disliked a piece of content. And that doesn't allow people to gauge whether something is worth watching. No rating system is ever perfect. Any rating system is open to the possibility of, you know, a group of people going in there and mass disliking it or mass review bombing it or whatever it might be. And it can be for a variety of reasons. Some people might do that because they feel like they're not being heard when there's genuine criticism about a piece of content. And so they feel the need to disrupt the video's rating so that they can attract the attention of the makers. Others are genuinely just, you know, target of harassment. And I'm not saying that issue doesn't exist, but nuking the rating system and making it completely useless by hiding the ratio of people who liked a video or disliked a video, that's not the way to do it. It just makes this platform that much more of a minefield to navigate and makes people have to work that much more to get basic information like what's the general sentiment surrounding this video before they can look into it more to maybe inform themselves about whether this video is for them or not. There is not a single good reason presented here for removing the dislikes, and there's not a single shred of evidence or tangible data or information about the experiment and its process and the information that they discovered that is presented in a way that convinces me that they have a point to make here. It just feels like they removed the dislikes for their own sake and for corporation's sake rather than truly for the creator's sake. And I'm clearly not the only one with that sentiment given the overwhelming amount of dislikes in this video from viewers. Thanks to that Chrome extension, I can at a glance see that overwhelmingly people do not like this decision, whereas if this weren't there, I would only see 27,000 likes and I have to be like, wait, but what's the ratio? So I have to like go in the comments and I have to just do more work to gauge the very basic information that is clearly presented here that people overwhelmingly don't like this move from YouTube. And it feels like YouTube's goal is to hide that so that corporations can have more of an edge on being able to promote things that are overwhelmingly disliked. If it's true that they, you know, reached out to a number of small creators and they've expressed those sentiments, that's a crappy sample size for an experiment. You should be considering creators across the entire spectrum. Small creators, mid-sized creators, and large-size creators and gauge the opinions across all of them instead of just focusing on a small sample size and then basing decisions that affect the entire spectrum around that specific crowd. If there's an issue that affects specifically small creators, then you should be trying to come up with solutions that can resolve things specifically for those small creators instead of going scorched earth on a rating system that the majority of creators and viewers value on some level, even if not 100% perfect. It offers more benefits than drawbacks is generally the sentiment out there. And as someone who has had a handful of videos, you know, disliked heavily, I still maintain that it's well within your right to do that and to see that information and to express yourself based on that information. But that is just one man's opinion on everything. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are, what your experience is with YouTube's removal of, or the privatization of the dislikes counter, and what you think about YouTube's justification of this in their blog post and in this video. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.